Ethel Wyatt, and I am the councilwoman for the First District, which is Etna, Emerson, a little bit of Emerson, Glen, Ryan, and Miller. And we are here tonight at Miracle Temple Church, and glad to be here in the Etna neighborhood. We have, thanks for inviting us. We have just a couple of items of business to start with. I wanted to welcome all of you here. We normally have our First District community meetings on the fourth Monday of each month, but we scheduled this as a special meeting so that we could be joined by LaShawn Brooks of Constituent Affairs to explain the 5x5x5, and we also have some other individuals, department heads from the city who will introduce themselves shortly. I wanted to just remind you all that we have a major construction project going on Lake Street. If you haven't been by there, it's worth a look-see. It's pretty amazing. They've got, all of Lake Street is being renovated from 3rd Avenue all the way north to 7th. But right now they're just going to the tracks where Miller Pizza is and Miller Avenue. But all of those businesses are open, and they are open for business. And it's an exciting time for those businesses. So if you can patronize them, I would suggest that you do. There are routes all around, so you can get around through the alleys, nice paved alleys. You might just want to do that just for a Sunday drive. Indy Indy Bang Bang is open. Adele's, the dress shop that's farther north on Lake Street, is open. Miller Pizza, of course, is still open. There's parking where Ming Ling used to be, so it's a gravel parking lot. There are walking paths, pretty exciting walking paths, so wear some sturdy shoes because the rock there is substantial, and so you don't want to prance out on there in high heels or anything, Mr. Cobb. Leave the high heels at home, all right? Just wear your white. I just want to make sure.
Low.
But we do need to patronize those businesses because the work is going to continue until they're saying the 1st of November, maybe a little longer, I think, into November, and so those businesses need our dollars, need our support. So continue, and a great place to do some Christmas shopping because it will not be crowded like the mall. So if you want to do all of your Christmas shopping on Lake Street, I've done it before. It's a wonderful place to spend your money and support local Gary businesses. We also have Indian American Water here to address some concerns that in the Glen Ryan neighborhood. So with the Indian American Water people, okay, yeah, right here. Excellent, excellent. All right, and were there any, we're gonna go ahead and have LaShawn Brooks and her team introduce themselves to you, and then we'll open it up for questions. And of course, I'll be available for any questions that you have for me as well. Okay, LaShawn.
Thank you, Councilwoman, and thank you, Etna community, for allowing this opportunity for us to come and speak with you all. I know that you should be very excited because we are coming to your area with the 5x5x5, which is a cleanup initiative where we take 5 blocks for 5 weeks and clean blight from an area. And we are focusing from 10th to 15th Avenues from Utah to New Jersey Street. So we do strongly encourage, we will kick off on this Thursday with our kickoff where all city departments, those that you see here today, will be out there with us as well. But the key to it is we need some of you all to come out and support those efforts just as well to assist us. We will have brooms, rakes, garbage bags, and all necessary tools to assist in those efforts. But then we strongly encourage you, if you have any tools, or this is the opportunity for you to get in front of your home or next door to your property and clean up. We will have some dumpsters in the area to assist with any heavy debris or any tree limbs or things of that nature that we are all cleaning out. Not for household furniture or anything, but we are cleaning outside around properties. We also, it was some other little notes that I have, thank you, that is taking place through the Constituent Services Office. The city, normally we host 2 kickoffs with blight elimination, and that is with our Blight Buster Day. We kick off our season with the Blight Buster, and we end our season of cleaning with the Blight Buster, and that will take place on October 19th, and we're focusing, Blight Buster focus on main thoroughfares, and we will be focusing from 25th Avenue, coming from Grant Street to Burr Street, and we encourage all residents to come out to support those initiatives as well. This is a great opportunity for any youth to get engaged in community service opportunities. We have, this is a Love Your Block piece this year that we're adding to it. We do have our vistas that are here located in the back. Then Gina, Darnell, and Marie are here, and we are seeking volunteers to assist us with not only finishing out this year with our cleanup projects, but kicking off for 2020 just as well. So please, please, please stop by and have a small conversation with them. They are excited about the opportunities and what we have to come in the upcoming years. Also, we have a 5K run that is going to take place around, I'm probably taking Nate's thunder right now, but a 5K run that's going to take place around Gleason Golf Course on October 19th as well. And that initiative was generated as well as a Love Your Block component, where this gentleman, Donovan Nash from Lighthouse Charter Schools, came up with assisting us with blight elimination and helping one of our Love Your Block projects on Hovey Street to sustain their projects by providing them with tools. So any donations that come and those that participate will assist in that. We also having a big cleanup around Gleason on that same day as well. So a lot is going on the 19th, October 19th, which will climax all of our blight elimination cleanups that take place. I also want to give, before, remind you all, don't forget 311 is the way that we work, that you please give phone calls if you have any concerns, the concerns that we will hear today. It is our hope that you have shared those with us by calling 881-1311. Just as well, I do want to give a report on behalf of the Board Up and Demolition, Cedric Kirkendall, who states in the 1st District, there are 37 vacant properties in a selected area, and of those 37, 7 are commercial. 4 require board up, that's 1246 Idaho, next to 3908 East 14th Avenue, and 2 have to locate the correct addresses of those. You have 2 emergencies located at 3400 East 12th Avenue to 1266 Idaho Street, and possibly 1270. We have demolished 1,410 structures since 2012 in the 1st District. We have demolished 189 in 2019. So 26 of the 189 were in the 1st District. We've demolished 616 structures using hardest hit funds since 2014 to today. and 149 out of the 616 were demolished in the first district. 3700 East 10th Avenue is being considered for demolition with hardest hit funds. And with that, I think I'll go to my right with our deputy chief to share information about our police department.
Good afternoon, how's everybody? I'm sitting here on my phone. I know people are wondering, I'm texting back and forth with a couple of people about a couple of issues that we're dealing with right now. I want to thank everybody for coming out. These community meetings are so important for us to get together and talk about things and try to explain things about what's going on within our community and what's going on within our police department. Policing is very challenging today. It's a different time with different types of crime going on, and we're trying to adapt to it every day. But the most important component for the police department has been and always will be our community. Our community partners are the only thing that we have which help us really realize what's going on in the community and help us be able to make the decisions that we make on how we combat crime. I know that many of you have been to a lot of our community meetings, so I won't go back over all the things that we do that we've talked about in the past, but there are a lot of different ways to report to us crime. You can, of course, use our 311 to report some things, but we prefer that you call our central dispatch. A few years ago, we went to centralized dispatch by law, and their number is 219-660-0000. That is also the same people that answer 911. The difference between 911 and the non-emergency line is that if you have an emergency, something's going on right now, you need the police immediately because there's a loss of life, someone needs help, whether it could be from law enforcement or medical, you call 911. If you need a police report, it's important, but it's not life-threatening, you can call the 660-0000. One of the things I hear a lot about that line is how many questions the dispatchers ask you. They ask a lot of questions, they go through a whole list of things, and we get a lot of complaints about that. And so we did meet with the leadership of Central Dispatch as well as their board. And what we were informed is that one of the things that they have to do is ask as many questions as they can. Let me give you an example of that. One of the calls that we get all the time, every day, is a suspicious subject. Now you tell me what that is. What does that mean? You know, and that's really challenging for us in law enforcement because, you know, what we don't want to do is have any adverse contact with citizens. We don't want to just actually approach a citizen, they not know why we're there, we not know why we're there, and they're just suspicious. Another one we get all day, every day is a male black wearing all black acting suspicious. Okay, who is that? You know, who is that? That could be anyone. So when the dispatchers, and you hear that call all day long. So they're going to ask you a lot of questions. Or if you say, well, there's a man with a gun. Which man with a gun? Because if there are 15 people out there, we want to go to the one who has the weapon. And so they're going to ask you a myriad of questions to try to get to the bottom of what's going on. But know that while that call taker is asking you questions, there's somebody else listening, and they're dispatching the police. Also, that call taker, one of the things they have to do is they have to be able to multitask, something that I don't do well, but they have to be able to talk to you and type in what you're saying. All of our cars now have computers in them, so the officers can actually see what they're typing. That's almost more important than what they say on radio, because that information is there. So while they're asking you all these questions, they're also dispatching you there. And most of our citizens sometimes feel that they're waiting to get off the phone and do it. It's going on simultaneously. But the questions they ask you can help us save time, number one, talk to the right individual who we need to talk to, and also not have any adverse contact with people that we don't need to talk to. You know, what we want to do is talk to the right individuals. You can also let the dispatcher know if you do want to speak to the police or if you're just a concerned citizen. If you call a non-emergency line, you don't want the police coming to your home, just say, look, I'm a concerned citizen, I don't want the police coming here, I'm just calling because I think something is going on suspicious. And you can do that. Another way you can report to us is our tip line. That number is 1-866-CRIME-GP. 1-866-CRIME-GP. It's an anonymous line. There's no recording the line. We don't know who calls. You can call and report anything on it, or just, you know, tell us what you feel is going on, and we will certainly investigate it and check it out. A lot of people do that when they have suspicious activity in their neighborhood or with narcotics, and they definitely don't want the people to know that they call that number. We can definitely answer those calls. You can also call us direct. You can Facebook us. I'm happy to say that the Gary Police Department Facebook page is the most visited city department Facebook on social media in the city. And we don't like messaging on there because, you know, we do monitor it, but if you have something that's going on, we prefer you to first call dispatch, and then if it's not an emergency, call the non-emergency line. If it's something you just kind of want to report and want feedback on there today, use 311. While I'm on that, let me talk about animal control, because we talked about this before. Animal control works outside. They do not sit in the office. They're assigned to district, they're in their cars, and they're dispatched just like the police are. If you have an animal issue, call 660-0000, and they will dispatch an animal control officer during the day. Now, animal control officers don't work at night. It's kind of dangerous to have them out trying to take animals at night or trying to approach people. So if they're on call for situations like that, if there's an emergency after hours, like right now, they have an on-call person who will come out. May take a little longer because they may be coming from home or somewhere else, but they do come out in the evenings and overnight if needed. And I'm getting a thing about cats. They do assist with cats. One of the things about cats, was that you?
Well, there was a, Chief, I'm asking about cats because in the first district, there has been a lot of talk about cats and, are they supposed to be leashed and, misinformation that, and so that's why I'm glad you're touching on that.
There are no leash laws on cats. Unlike dogs, cats are not covered by leash laws or either the same laws, ordinances that dogs are. Now with canines, if we find stray dogs all the time, we can take them into our animal control facility and adopt them out. There are a lot of organizations as well as the Humane Society that take these animals. There are very few for cats. So that's a little different animal, but animal control can certainly assist with that. Another thing about cats in the neighborhoods is when you do have a bunch of cats in your neighborhood, it can become a problem for the nuisances that they cause, but it can, what we did was we worked with Humane Society to try to spay or neuter, I don't know which one of the cats are, and then release them back into the community. Cats are very territorial, like my wife. So,
This is recorded, right?
I'll say it to her face. But the thing about cats and being territorial is that if you spay or neuter them and put them back in their community, eventually they won't spawn any more cats, but they also keep other wild cats out of the area. That was a study done by Pew Research and the Humane Societies were doing it. The Humane Society of Northwest Indiana had a spay or neuter program that they're trying to start back up right now. And I believe they fixed 2,500 cats in our community. And what they would do is come pick them up and take them back after the procedure was done. But animal control can assist you with that. And they can be reached, like I said, you can call a non-emergency line. You can call 881-1201, which is our police department, and we can connect you to animal control. We only have one civilian secretary down there. So she isn't an animal control officer, but she can answer most questions. And if she can't, she will contact you or connect you with an animal control officer. They work in the field. They're not in the office. So many people say, well, I called the office and no one answered, or when someone answered, they're in the field. The best way to get them is just like you would get the police. Is call the non-emergency line.
What was that 660 number?
I said it twice. 660-0000.
Okay.
See, my dad was a preacher, but I gotta say things 3 times. I don't want to That's the non-emergency line, but please, call that number for anything that you don't need immediate help on. I hear people saying they call that number when they have like a real problem. I prefer you to call 911. And it's the same people, it's just a different, just a different level of urgency with it, okay?
And that's under 219?
Yes, ma'am. Now, if I keep talking, I'm gonna pass the plate.
I'm Millie Glenn with Code Enforcement. I'm the manager for Code Enforcement. We have a lot going on. I have one of my inspectors here, Derek Hutton Kinsey. He's also one of the inspectors for this area from time to time, but he has another district that he's in, which is the second district as well. Code enforcement, we do have our plate full. We get a lot of calls in. We also work with the 311 system. The 311 system, each inspector has a district that they go in on a daily basis and they check their complaints, and then they go out and do their investigation. They send messages back to, if you want a message sent back to you, you leave your name and number on the service, and then they'll send you a message back, letting you know the status of it. Most of those messages are letting you know that they have been out, they investigated, and that if they have any violations, they will be cited and be sent to court. They'll leave on there the court date and the time, so if you want to be in the court appearance to see what's going on yourself, you are more than welcome to come out to the court. And that's held at the police department at 555 Polk Street. We also get complaints from people just calling us in, or from council. The council calls us and let us know their concerns and complaints. We also go out and we tag vehicles. We work with the police department. If we have a vehicle that has been on the street for a while and the plates are expired, most of those vehicles we don't tag. We'll call the police department and we'll have them to come out and tow those vehicles right then. Most of the vehicles people consider this, that my vehicle is not a junk vehicle, but it's part of the ordinance to say if it's on 2 or more flats, if it's on blocks or jacks, dismantled, non-operating, expired plates or no plates, those will be considered junk vehicles or abandoned vehicles, and we handle them as they come. Now, we do try to work with the constituents and let them know if they're out there what we're looking at. So we can, we'll work with them and say, well, you need to update your plates, or your car's on the flat. We have to let them know the car has to be, all tires have to be inflated. So if they're not, then like I said, we consider them an abandoned vehicle. We also, like I said, we come out every time the city has a cleanup. Code enforcement is out every cleanup that we have. It's right for 55555. You can always reach one of the inspectors out there or myself. We're located inside the building department at City Hall on the 3rd floor. And the number for us is 219-881-1377. My city work number, oh, that's for the 811. Yeah, for the 311, you can call 881-1311. And then we also get the complaints that way. I have a number. Each one of the inspectors have a number, so if you want to know, if you want us to talk to the inspector of that area, you can get their number as well. We work a lot with every department and just trying to handle all situations that come our way.
Did you say this Inspector Kinsey is assigned to this area?
Yeah, right now he is, yes.
Right,
yes.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is there some sort of rotation, or you said right now he is, so when is he no longer, who comes after him?
Okay, he is.
Oh yeah, so I'm designated in the 1st district for the month of October. Since I'm in here, I'm in the 2nd district inspector, but this is my first time having the 1st district. So any concerns that you have, I have a couple of my business cards here with me. Anything that you need, anything you want me to take a look at, I will give you a thorough investigation, explanation of the process, and I'll be out here up until October 31st, and so we'll move to another inspector. The process is that when I come out, take pictures, initial investigation. If it's in violation of any municipal code, that's when I go start begin the citation process or warning. I'm not here to get people caught up in bureaucratic court, but I do want to see differences in the community. So if you can clean it up before it's time for a citation process, I can give you the benefit of the doubt. But if not, then you definitely will be receiving a citation. So,
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it possible for the city of Gary to have, when a person is, got the citation, if you could have meetings set up for those who have violated anything, to let them know how to handle their problem. I have a neighbor whose house needs a little repair, and code enforcement warned him about the home, the roof is just bad. And there is a program that he can get his roof fixed. And if you all could have some kind of, when you get a citation, talking, they gotta come to a class and you tell them about all their options of fixing their problem.
Well, what we do have is what we call the UBL, it's the unsafe building law that we have now. They don't just get a regular citation. They, the inspectors go out and do their regular investigation, they take pictures, and we have different court proceedings for that. And what it is we're working with the constituents on how, what process can they take, or is there any avenue that they can go down to try to get their homes brought up to the code. So there is a UBL that we also work with. And just to let you know that we do, when we do cite, it is a process to it, that it can take anywhere from 30 to 90 days for the situation to be handled, because we have to go through court proceedings. We have anywhere from 125 to almost 200 new court cases every month. We do work with the constituents, and they say that they, working, but it takes a little time, so that's why theirs can extend past the further, past the regular 30 or 60 days. So we do try to work with people to try to get their houses up to regular, yeah.
I got a question.
Yes.
At the present time, how many code enforcers do we have in the city of Gary?
We have 5 right now.
For the whole city of Gary?
Yes.
Good evening. I'm Nate George. I'm the superintendent of the Parks Department. We have this immediate area. We said maybe there are 4 parks, and then we got Junior Roy, Glen Ryan, Edna. There's one I'm leaving out. Those are the immediate parks that we have in our area. We currently are in the process of updating our master plan, which requires or which suggests feedback from residents about how they feel about our parks, good, bad, or indifferent. So I would like to take the time to encourage everybody to go to the City of Gary's website, which is gary.in.us. Click on the Parks Department page, and on that front page, you'll see a survey. It's 6 or 7 questions, takes you 30 seconds to fill out. That information will be used to fill in the community engagement portion of our master plan, which has to be updated every 10 years. So we're at that point now. I've been given the task of doing that, and we appreciate everybody's feedback as it relates to that. Additionally, there are after-school programs that were supposed to start today, but we pushed it back a week. So there are 3 different programs that are being run by the Youth Services Bureau. One is at the Dunes, I'm sorry, not the Douglas Center. That one is our nature-based after-school program. It's being funded by the City's Connected Children in Nature grant. So that one will be on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 3:30 to 7. There will be snacks and a meal provided, in addition to homework and tutoring, homework help and tutoring. We have talked with the Gary School Corporation about providing transportation to kids who are getting off school to that site and to the other sites. Parents will just be responsible for picking them up. So that's one location. Second location is the Hudson Campbell Sports Fitness Center. That one is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as well. That one's called All Ball. It is focused on introducing kids to careers in sports that don't involve just being the athlete themselves. We know a lot of our kids have dreams and aspirations of being professional athletes, and we know statistically most of them will not achieve that goal just because of the competitiveness of sports. But there are other things that they can do. They can be directors, they can be behind the cameras, they can be sound engineers, they can be agents, they can be lawyers, they can be a bunch of different things. And so for those who have a passion for sport, but maybe not be able to do anything athletically on a professional level, we're introducing them to those additional careers. The last site that we have, and Lori's gonna kill me, I just forgot the name of the church. There's a church in Glen Park. That one's gonna be focused on the arts. So it's gonna be focused on singing, dancing. I think they're gonna do some art classes as well with that one, but it's more focused on the arts. Same thing applies there as well. Meals, homework help, tutoring, all of those things. So,
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
it's also Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can call 881-5270 to register your children for that. There's also. well,
And
they
that's
can-
for ages,
So all ball is teenage. That's more geared for the teenage kids. So the one at the Hudson Campbell is more teenage based. The other ones are ages 6 and up, so school age kids.
Good evening, I'm Mattie Fitzgerald Williams, the Director of Recycling, and I just want to invite you guys who have not signed up for the recycling department to do so. You may request a recycling bin through our 311 system by calling or using the city website. Also, we have our brown bag waste collection going on now. We just ask that you place your bags at curbside. For the Miller area, we are collecting bags every second and fourth week of the month. And just place them at curbside. We ask no trash in the bags because they are being composted. So the trash does not fit in the process that we are trying to come. We also have our shredding program. Our shredding program is free to the citizens of Gary. You can shred your personal documents every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 900 Madison Street. You can bring the documents from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at 900 Madison Street. If you have any questions or concerns about the programs, you can give us a call at 882-8445, extension 30. That's 882-8445, extension 3, and it is a free shredding program for all citizens. We do urge you to take advantage of this program as well. Thank you.
I have a question. Do you have a list of what you take in the recycling bin?
Yes, and I also have flyers with me tonight, and you can visit our website at www.garygreenteam.org.
Okay, and for things such as old microwaves and TVs and air conditioners, what do you do with those?
Okay, so the televisions, the microwaves, you can drop off at our site at 900 Madison Street. But the air condition, you would have to wait until our household hazardous waste day. And that's like the 1st of spring, once a year.
Okay, and then just go on the website, I guess, to get notified as to when, yeah.
Yes, we have different billboards and posters throughout the communities to let you know when we're having that program. We also, just for the yard waste, for the citizens who are cutting down the branches and trying to get rid of them, you can take those branches to the 15th and Clay Street drop-off site. And that's Monday through Friday as well. Yes.
back to Mr. Parks' part. You said that, the activities for the children was open for the Gary Community Schools. Does that include the charter school system?
It's open for all
And
children.
homeschool and private school?
It's open for all children.
All children.
And what I was referring to is just the transportation. So we had talked to the kids who ride the bus through Gary schools mostly. They had made an arrangement so the after-school sites can be added as a drop-off site.
We,
Is it a fee for that, or parents have to pay for it, it's free?
No fee.
Oh, okay,
Should have led with that.
cause I got 12 grandchildren.
we are also joined today by our council president, and we thank him, for being here, Councilman Ron Brewer. I also, he made it possible for us to be here today, and I noticed the pastor is here just as well. We thank you and appreciate, you opening your doors to us for this opportunity. Councilman, you want to say anything?
Well, I'll just say I'll be here to help, in the cleanup this Thursday. I've been riding around, come out here frequently, my mother still stays around the corner, go to church in this area here. There is some areas that need to be addressed, and so I will be working with different departments, code, general service, and some different areas where we need to address them.
What time we start?
I have been getting calls about, yes.
What time we start?
Time that we're starting,
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock Thursday morning, and there are flyers in the back again with our visitors. They are ready to hand you some papers. We ask that you share that with your neighborhood and the neighbors just as well. We also have the fire department that is here, and I do know, Chief, you want to talk about what the fire department gonna do, what you want me to say?
No, I can do that.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, fire department, we work with the 5x5x5 program also. We do more than just put out fires. We also are part of the community to help. We have an educational program called Fire Prevention. As you all know, this month is Fire Prevention Month. So right now we are going out to visiting most of the schools. We're scheduled to speak to over 1,000 school kids during this month. We also have a program that where we will come out and install smoke detectors in your home. So far, over the past couple of years, we have installed over 500 smoke detectors. They're not the combination where you have the carbon monoxide, they're only smoke detectors. And we do this through the Red Cross program. So if anyone is in need of a smoke detector, if you know someone that's in need of a smoke detector, you can call this number, 881-5220, 881-5220.
Chief, and we do have special guests we like to call because 311 has been full of calls in regards to Indiana American Water. So they are here, and I'd like for them to introduce themselves, and then we will be open to address any questions.
Sure, just get started. Good evening, my name's Justin Mount, Indiana American Water.
My name is Roberto Pena. I'm the senior supervisor in our construction department.
can you take us through the process of what you're doing in this area?
In Glen Ryan?
All
Well, in Glen Ryan, the work that's being done over there is with our internal crews. Those are my guys that are out there in Glen Ryan. The other folks that have been in this area, those are external contractors that are hired through our engineering department down in Greenwood. We have project managers down in Greenwood that also help us with this lead service line replacement program because we can't do it all. I think we're trying to get all the lead services done by within 10 years or something like that. And everybody knows that we can't do it with our forces because we have so many other things to do. So in Glen Ryan, what they're doing is we're just going through the neighborhood and replacing our side and the customer side of the lead service. And what I've been hearing is kind of the after effect of the construction side of the work. which is the restoration. I've been hearing that that's been a problem. I guess that's why we're here, to address that problem. This, if there's a problem in this area, Justin and I we're gonna have to take that back with us to get a hold of the project managers and get with our bosses and to see exactly, what's going on in this area so that we can make sure that it gets addressed in a timely manner.
And to add to that too, so a broader picture of what we're trying to do. I think we all got hit by Flint, Michigan a few years back, trying to deal with lead service lines and the effects it has on the health and the public at large. So what the General Assembly allowed us to do is kind of look at ways to replace lead service lines through homes. We're the first state in the nation allowed to do that. So we have roughly 50,000 homes identified throughout the state of Indiana, and we're trying to proactively go out and replace the lead service lines. And so a big chunk of that is up here in Northwest Indiana. I want to say 65% of that 50,000 is right here in this neighborhood. So what Indiana American is trying to do is, at really no additional cost to our customers, replace those lead service lines. And that's a process. We've got 10 to 25 years to replace over 50,000 homes with lead service lines. And so we're going through in a systematic manner. With any replacement, there is a process, and there's things that got to be done in a systematic way to kind of replace it. I know it's tough to have our homes disturbed. I know it's tough to have ground broken to replace this. But the idea and the concept is we're trying to kind of remedy a situation that happened years ago and replace these lead service lines and cause a health effect. Our job, what we do is try to deliver safe, reliable drinking water to our customers. These pipes were not lines we put in. They were pipes that are typically the responsibility of the homeowners, and we're trying to help that cost. That's kind of what we're doing. So we understand there's concerns and some of the remediation efforts, and we're trying to work on it. Like Roberto said, we're trying to go through it in a way that makes sense, and sometimes we need kind of little reminders that things got to kind of get addressed and fixed. And that's why I want to be here to kind of hear those concerns, relay that back, and try to kind of make sure that we all kind of create a situation where no one's really worse off, and eventually much better off after these lead service lines are replaced. So,
I have a question. How do you know if you've had that situation at your property or your home? How would I know whether I have?
The lead service line itself?
Yeah.
I mean,
We have records. We have records dating back to, I've seen records as old as 1910, and it actually has the type of material that was installed back in 1910.
So where would I go to look to see if I have?
If you give me your address, I can find. I'd have to do it tomorrow, but we have records. I just need your address and I can find out.
Okay.
So,
And are they actually in the house or from the?
It goes from the water main all the way into the house. So not only did I don't know what happened back in the early 1900s, but whatever the homeowners did when they developed Glen Ryan and some of these homes, they used lead services. So back when Indiana American Water used to be Gary Hobart Water, we also installed lead services back in the early 1900s. They stopped using lead kind of around the 1960s. So everything, if your home, so you could actually use that as if your home was built before 1970, there's a good chance it's a lead service.
And where would you go to get your water tested to see how much lead is in there?
Go ahead, Justin.
And I think it's not so much the lead, because there's also chemicals we put in there. There's a phosphate to actually seal to make sure there's nothing getting, no leaching. That was kind of happening in the Flint, Michigan situation. We're trying to be proactive and take rid of it. I know there was, I believe there were city ordinances that kind of recommended lead once upon a time. But I think we can't go back. What we're trying to do is kind of fix the problem moving forward. And I think what we're trying to do, and our overall goal, is to replace the lead service lines and move forward in that project. That's kind of what we're trying to get to.
If I could go back to the beginning, that we had a meeting and it started out, the purpose of it as far as it was to put the meters outside the homes and replace the lead lines.
Correct.
Now, the homes that had basements, they were gonna replace the lead all the way into the water meter in the basement. Slab homes, 10 feet from the home, they were going to just tap in, and then the rest of that lead wasn't gonna be replaced. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what I can't understand is they're tearing up. At one time, they said they were gonna replace the meters on the easement side, but now they're coming on the property side, and they're tearing up the properties bad. They tore up my light, took it out, and had to replace my light. There's another lady in the neighborhood to where they actually dug up her, where she had,
Irrigation?
yes,
Irrigation?
yes. And the thing is, what makes it look bad is, they came in and they had to cut the trees, they dug up, and they leaving it there. And it just looks bad there. Now, one thing that is bothering me too, and you mentioned something about putting something in the water line. So that means that because those that have homes that don't have any basement, you're not gonna replace that lead. So we're still gonna be, according to you looking at, we're still gonna be dealing with the same thing we're dealing with now. So what's the process with that?
That's probably gonna be a take back.
Okay, let's get some specifics on it. Again, I can tell you what we're trying to do, the objectives, you know, and we're new at this. I think there's no other country, we're the first in the nation to start this program. And so there's certain things that we can and can't do, because we're regulated by the OURCs, the Indiana Regulatory Commission. So we have some guidelines that kind of allow us to do certain things. And so we have to work within those guidelines. And so we're trying to address these. And so I think those specifics, you know, that's why we're here to listen to your concerns and take it back to our team and try to get your response.
Okay, so within that, isn't it something you need to do? You work so many homes, you fix that line back up rather than waiting. We've had the neighbors in the Glen line for over a month, and they're starting slowly to start working on them. And some of them, like I say, it's just, can I be honest with you, you go outside this area, they're coming up saying the area is the worst in the country.
Yeah.
Why is it? Because of things like this. They're doing work, but not repairing it right away.
Sure, I can appreciate that. I think there's you know, with any repair job, there is a process. You know, when you're taking up dirt from the ground, let's say there's sidewalks that kind of get interrupted. There's certain stuff that's got to take place, and a certain process to get done to make sure things are done in an appropriate manner. And so I think there is a timeline, a guideline that we're trying to follow. And sometimes, you know, when you dig up dirt, grass is going to grow tomorrow. You know, that's just not kind of the process. It's just, we're trying to do it in a systematic way. And I wish there was, and that's just, there's a timeline to get the grass to grow back to what it was. And we are trying to work on that process so that you guys are no worse off.
Well, not so much as the grass growing back, but just leaving, you dig up the dirt. We've had some heavy rainstorms. And around the area, the ground settles down, and you're having holes. And people can actually walk into that. I had to contact one of the fellas to go get some dirt because one of the areas was just extremely bad. So all I'm saying is, okay, this week you work in this section of this block, do all the work. Get it down to where you get it back. Then go to the next block. Don't do the whole neighborhood, then come back and decide to fix it. It's gonna be winter time soon. So this is what I'm saying. There's got to be something else to keep. If you was to go through Glen right now and look and see, especially on 6th Avenue, you're talking about ghetto, that's what you call it. And there's neighbors are trying to take care of their homes.
I was there today. I've been out there a lot in the last couple of weeks. Kind of like Justin was saying, there is a process to do the restoration, kind of like with the heavy rains. I'm not making any excuses. We shouldn't be leaving anything like that. We should have went back and checked it. But there is a whenever you dig a hole, there's a settling process, you gotta let the dirt settle. Because if you go back right away, and let's say you put a sidewalk down, a brand new sidewalk, and you don't wait a couple of weeks and let the ground settle, then the entire new sidewalk's gonna settle. That's why we're here, because we're gonna make it right. Like I said, I was out there today, I drove the area, I was out there with my guys on 6th place, 4716, as a matter of fact. And we are gonna be more aggressive to get this restoration done in a timely manner. And like I said, I'm not trying to make any excuses, I know
Well,
it's a big job.
But at least they can come in and level everything out, all the roots, the house, where the sprinkler system be torn up.
I saw that today.
At least it can level it down even, so it doesn't look so bad.
And I think you already see where they tore that big tree down on East Fifth Avenue.
6th Avenue.
6th Avenue, I was over there, so I'm gonna be going over there.
Yeah, I'm in a white truck, I'm watching.
Yeah, I was in the white truck.
I'm watching it right now.
You know what? By all means, feel free. The gentleman that's out there, his name is Kevin Robertson. By all means, speak to him. And if you guys would like, I have a few cards, but if you guys would like a local number to call, we're here at 1650 Michigan, right down the block.
That number don't mean nothing.
No, well, if you want to get a hold of something, or you can just go straight to the crew.
That's what we got to do.
That's what you did, and that's fine. They're there for you. They're there for the community, and, you know, we're just here to.
But see, our mayor said it don't make no sense to look at that way.
We're gonna, again, like I said, we're gonna be more aggressive. I've been going out there the last couple of weeks, and I'm gonna keep going out there until everything's done.
Let me ask a question, because I came down to the legislator and I thought it was very important that we deal with this issue here, because I didn't want to see our community end up like Clinton was. Why is it an option where you're going into the basements and not to the slab? Because if you look at this area, there's a lot more slabs in this area than you have basements. And if this is a serious health issue that we're trying to cut off and address, why not go into all? I know it was an option to go into some of the basements, where you get a homeowner's option to go inside or not. But there's not even an option given to the ones with slabs.
Right.
And I didn't think we were doing that. I thought we were going to give everyone that same option. You know, whether you want them to come inside and replace those lights or not. But it seemed like it's made the decision is made that we're not going inside the slabs at all.
Well, I thought he said that they were gonna take that back, that question when it came up before about going in on the slabs, not going in that far. That's one of the issues that they'll have to take back and,
Well, I brought it up because I went down and spoke down in the legislature for this, and I didn't know that was going to be the case. I thought we were going to give everyone that same option. I didn't know a decision was going to be made, we're not going inside the slabs at all. I never heard it before, so that's why I brought it up.
okay, no, I'm glad you did. But we're coming on to, almost an hour here. So if we have more questions about the water and, that kind of thing, if you could hold them until afterwards and talk to the gentlemen who were here from Indiana American Water. And then if we have any more questions for the rest of the department heads, let's get those out too. Okay, yes.
What are the plans as far as the Etna Community Center park and the concession stand is burned up?
I know we boarded that up a few times. They keep taking, whoever it is, keeps taking it down. And the building has been completely gutted, if I recall correctly. I know we've talked about the building a few times. There's not many, at the present time, there's not many viable options for that building. Either one of those buildings, to be honest with you. Sad to say, but.
Nothing they can do but tear them down.
Yeah.
If they can't be fixed, it's gonna cost too much to fix them up.
I mean, but that'll be added to the list of demolitions got.
I need the number for the demolition people, because I called last year and they told me an address that was supposed to be, torn down out here, and
It's still up.
It's still,
8811-311.
wait a minute, what is it?
311 number.
1311. And keep in mind, demolition is based off of, funds.
I know, but they told me the address. They gave me the address. But that was like last year.
What's that?
I think it's 1021 New Jersey Street.
Is that a slab?
No,
Basement?
yeah.
I have to do a slab, because if it's a slab, we can do it in-house.
Right.
With in-house demolition.
No, I'm thinking here, I think it's the basement.
Okay.
Is there a possibility that, Gary could write a grant or something for those who have homes that was built in the 60s and have lead pipes to give them a little assistance on changing that? At Edna, Glen Ryan, Edna, these homes are 50, 60 years old. Some people have basements, some don't.
So I would love to answer that, with, one of the best solutions, and, is starting a block club. And even through block clubs, you can write your own grants. So, and the city will support that initiative, with your efforts of, if a grant you wanted to seek in regards to assisting, if it was elderly, veterans, starting somewhere, there are grants that's out there. But that is something that you all, can start through block clubs. I know we have one, you heard me speak earlier about the Love Your Block project. We have one block club that actually grew into now their own 501c3, to the point now where they have applied for grants and will be receiving some grant dollars to assist with the park that they wanted to do. They adopted one of our city parks, and also got the buy-in from other businesses that surround the area to help them in those efforts. So it would help more when organizations such as block clubs take that initiative and just have the support of city resources to assist you in those efforts. And the city also has an open grant team that residents can attend to find out more information on opportunities for grants. And we meet on Tuesdays. This Tuesday, tomorrow is a training that we have, and so I know we won't be discussing those that on tomorrow. But on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock at City Hall is where we host those grant sessions.
Each Tuesday, every Tuesday?
Yes, yes, yes. So to start a block club, I do say, and actually, if I could put Ms. Cease on the line, she is a block club leader, but I know she had challenges too with residents assisting in those efforts, and she was on to a good start. But it takes the community as a whole to join in those efforts. One of the grants, we stopped by and talked with the business there, share with you how we had one just even assisting cleaning up, and we talk about like with the park and cleaning those things up, we had that through Cities of Services, and also through Legacy Foundation, there was a grant just as well. So there are opportunities that are being held for block clubs, and a lot more opportunities through grants that could assist with that, and that's an excellent project to start off with. Yes.
Oh, I have a question. Does the city's animal control not deal with raccoons? Because where I live, there's a lot of raccoons, and when you come out, especially after 6 o'clock, they're out there, and if you walk up on them, they will attack you. So I think I went last year and already had my roof done, paid like almost $3,000, and now they've torn it up again. So I'm trying to figure out, because they say they'll keep coming back. So did they ever get? Because I went one time and they said that we would have to get a professionals because they don't deal with that. So do they have that now?
No, ma'am, that's wildlife. Coyotes, raccoons, possums. snakes, deer, that's wildlife.
'Cause it's
So animal
deer.
control can only deal with animals. Now, if it's a nuisance or public safety.
Yeah,
risk,
'cause you come out
then
at
definitely
the
we'll
6
come out
o'clock
with
and stuff like that,
We
something
come
grabbing
out,
your
we
leg.
come out for beavers and things
Yeah.
like that. But all those things are really natural wildlife protected by DNR laws. And we really are not supposed to take them out of their natural habitat or do anything with them by law. But animal control does respond to any threat to public
Yeah,
safety.
because I live out there where St. Mary Lake is.
Yeah.
Okay, and out there is deers. I don't mind the deers and the rabbits and stuff like that, but the raccoons, you get out, you find something jumping your lap or grabbing your leg. That's.
And see, something like that, that's not normal behavior for them. So that animal might be rabid or something else. What I can give
Because he
you,
got a family too.
don't approach them when they're like that. Call animal control out, they will assess it. And then they can call out DNR and deal with it that way. These type of animals don't generally do that, but there are cases where the animals may be sick or something else. They generally try to get away from people, but they do come home with softness, through fascia, addicts, and you do at that time. Because we're not expert at trapping those animals. There's services that do, and they have to trap and release. You know, animal control only can trap and then adopt out. I also want to give out one more bit of information. I forgot to mention our online reporting. The City of Gary Police Department has an online reporting system now. So if you have something that's like vandalism to your car or something like that, as long as it happens within the city limits, as long as it is not an emergency call, you can go to the city's website at gary.in.us and go to the police department portion, and you can do an online report. It will generate a case number for you, and it will be assigned to a detective, just like a regular report would for a police officer. It saves a lot of time. Instead of you calling, waiting for a police officer to come to your house to take a report on some minor vandalism or a lost cell phone, something like that, you can do it online, you get a case number, which is what most people need for those cases in order to report them to their insurance. So you can go to gary.in.us and do an online report instead of waiting for a dispatch to send you an officer who could be there in 10 minutes or he could be there in 45 minutes, depending on what the call volume is at the time. But yes, ma'am, for wildlife, if it's a threat to you, if you feel like the animal is a danger, please give us a call. We'll come out and check it because that's not normal behavior.
Out here, usually the raccoons take over control of empty houses. And I guess they're
They're breeding.
And they're in abundance. It's not like 2 or 3 of them. You have a whole pack of them, and they come out at night and they walk around just like we can. You know, it's
Very few natural predators with some of these animals because we have invaded their space, and now the city's population is shrinking. So with the city's population shrinking to the point that it has now, and then many of these areas not having as many people in it, wildlife is coming back into these areas. If you live out here, I'm sure you guys have seen the beavers that are coming through the communities right now because they're getting closer and closer.
Okay, we get 2 more questions, anybody?
I got another question. The code, this is for the code enforcement. As far as the abandoned buildings, I know, I seen this, it's only 5, yeah, I know y'all can't go around to all of the various lots and abandoned houses. So you all rely upon us to call the 311?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, with that being said, what is the process? Are these people fined? You have to fine them and then they're fined, they have to go to court. What is it? Because it seems like we can have a lot of money if these people are fined for all of these abandoned properties they're either taking care of and paying taxes or not doing either one.
Well, a lot of the properties, if we go and look it up and the taxes aren't paid, most likely the person just walked away from it.
Right.
So it's a process that we go through. Like I said, the UBL that we have, we work with redevelopment with that. And Carol goes through and they have to go through the paper and title searches and everything before they can even do anything. So it's a process with that as well. It's just a process with it all, especially if it's not the city's property.
A little bit. I see the way that you phrased that question. Like, if it's an abandoned property, 9 times out of 10 we've seen the abandoned property. It's that if it's $20,000 worth of taxes that's unpaid on the property, it's not worth citing because the person's not gonna show up. If they owe the state $20,000, then they're not worried about $500 to $1,000.
Okay, in that case, then what do you do? I know somebody
So,
owes $60,000.
so the process
That's
is,
20 years worth
so
of.
what the process is this. So the new process is the UBO. So, the city has the power to say, okay, this person is in violation of this code. All right, so what we can do is we can do the work, which is allowed, which the budget allows. Let's say if it needs to get tore down, all right, we can do that work. We can cite it to them as a tax lien. If they don't respond to it, we can put it in, we can put it on the list for demolition. We can put it in a demolition order. It'll get put on the list that's already extensive, and then when we have the funding to tear it down, then it'll get torn down. But our responsibility is to make sure that we do the demolition order on the property, and then when the funds come in, then it'll get torn down.
Has Gary ever had thought about having an auction situation where, okay, we got this abandoned property, let's take, for instance, the corner of 13th and Anna Street, there's a house there, and the person that used to own it, he passed away, someone else got it, that person got sick, and now it's an abandoned house. Could that be up for taxes? Okay, so if he owes $20,000 in taxes, could that house be put up on an auction, taxes forgiven for someone to take that house and do something with it?
Well, I can tell you that, you know, when there are processes for the tax sale, the county has priority on that, and they run the tax sale. So, and people are buying them on the commissioner's sale for as little as $500. You know, if they don't sell on the treasurer's sale, then they go to another sale. And some people are, you know, buying those houses and then investing in them, trying to fix them up and either rent them out or flip them, you know, so they are, I mean, that process is working, but there are so many properties. And we've just got, I said one more question. That's all right. Did you have anything? Okay. And one more, I still got one more because she didn't want to use hers. She could sell it to the highest bidder. All right, so if anybody needs to still talk to Indian American Water, the gentlemen are here. Thank you all for coming out this evening, and I thank the department heads for taking their time out because it was very valuable information. And don't forget that the cleanup starts on this Thursday, and as I've said, do not be frightened by the little picture of me on the I will not be there, so as I work on Thursday or Friday, but don't be frightened by that, and get your neighbors and everybody to come out, because that's what it takes. It takes all of us. Again, thank you very much.